name is our God, and the word is cat.
It goes meow. It's called a cat.
So ODB is different than other comedy groups on campus because it is the only multiculturally based improv group, meaning that we are exploring and supporting and celebrating diversity on stage as opposed to other comedy groups. I would say ODB has the most diversity among race and of all of the improv groups and sketch groups and comedy groups in general.
Out to Box used to be a faction of the African American Theater Ensemble, but later transitioned to its own multicultural comedy group in the early 2000s. The comedy group's goal is to make comedy accessible to all groups and people, specifically those who have not traditionally had access to the arts. ODB's mission is to make sure that the identity of their players is at the forefront of the comedy they produce.
Comedy groups, as like a thing everywhere, are typically pretty white, so it's a pretty rare thing to see people collectively get on stage and say, hey, maybe we present like, I don't know, like another side. The culture of ODB lends itself to, pushing the boundary and making sure that like we can make the uncomfortable comfortable. It's a good time, and I think there's nothing else that exists like ODB, basically anywhere.
ODB produces comedy that's socially and politically centered, and their diversity means that they can comfortably cover a range of topics like race, politics, and sexuality.
More than anything, I've learned an incredible amount from being on ODB. I feel like now I can talk with authority on, in some ways, on race, on class, on sexuality, because of the conversations that I've had within the group, and the stuff that I've learned. Like, I feel like I've learned more in ODB than I have in any class I've taken at Northwestern.
And what they do resonates with audience members. They hold one show a quarter, and it sells out every time. Even though their comedy might make the audience uncomfortable at times, ODB wants them to think and be comfortable talking about race and class politics.